couple of questions that did come up. Do we want this open to village residents only? Do we want to
How do
go
you
to?
determine that?
That's,
Yeah. I mean, you could say, because
Right.
only
okay.
someone from South
You
Looping
couldn't
Road
force
come
it,
up
yeah.
here. He's got that picture.
So do I.
You know, Frank also.
Yeah, sure, that's what we're talking about. Do we want to add hours to it? But then again, you know, talking with Trustee Lozado,
Look at it at
what do you
specific
do
times,
with
just make it.
snow days?
Yeah.
You know? Or do we just keep it?
I see you keep it open, and as long as you have the rules, and if there's a problem, that, you know, people call.
Well, when's the park usually closed?
Well, yeah.
Sunset, huh?
And ask for
Yeah.
sunset.
Sunset, make it
Yeah.
sunset.
I mean, we could have lights up there, but we can extend it
yeah.
on weekends if we
Right.
wanted to,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I
That's,
would
but
do
not
that.
during the week, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
On
wouldn't
Friday
Friday.
and Saturday night, you could have the tower lights go.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, until 10 or something.
Right,
yeah, it's still limited.
Yeah.
but otherwise,
So-
if there's no notice for that, then just,
Right, I think the park is open
Park.
dusk to dawn.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we'll put dusk to dawn and then upon special occasions.
okay.
We'll save the,
Can I comment and make about this sign? Now, I've looked at signs too. There was one that said something about, like you could play hockey on it, but then if kids come to, if families to skate, you have to stop the hockey game, something to that effect. I don't remember exactly.
I
But
think,
kids have a
I
hockey game.
think subconsciously, that's why
Yeah.
it went this way, so it is large enough.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they
Yes,
don't want
if there
little
is
kids getting
absolutely-
hip checked by kids playing ice hockey.
That's why I know that, you know, not,
Yeah.
what's not permitted, that whole section.
You say that again?
If you read the whole not permitted section, you kind of hope people know what not to do, but.
But you want kids, when it's just them, to play ice hockey, that's the whole idea.
And that's
But
gonna happen after
when a
school.
family comes and there's little 4-year-olds learning how to skate, you don't want an ice puck hit them. So they have to get off the ice.
We'll stop playing, stop playing.
Yeah.
So just if we could put something about that. I saw it online, if you look online, you'll see it.
Okay.
No, that's a, excellent, because I remember hitting some.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was the hockey player too, so I used to love slap shots.
But I wasn't very good at it, so that's, I had no idea where it was going.
We used to go headhunting, that was
Then
our
you
thing.
wouldn't perform.
Yes.
We loved it.
Okay, public comment, we'll go right to public comment, and then we will take a 5-minute break to go, so the board could look at the water and sewer budget. Our next meeting for the budget is on Friday, I believe.
Yes.
At that point, we could, we'll have a PowerPoint presentation. Dry run, let's say, and Tuesday is the public hearing. And the following Tuesday, I believe, is the adoption, the 29th. So public comment on anything that we discussed tonight, or anything that's on your mind. We have 3 minutes to, has to do with the village. So
Besides
let's
this
not go
cranium.
with what's on your mind. Has to do with the village of Washingtonville.
I do have a question. The other night during a budget meeting, I think Richard brought something up about a sign, that he said it was gonna be like the one from the firehouse in Salisbury Mill.
Not
Where
very
would-
fancy, but yeah.
Where would you put that in the village that it wouldn't be breaking the code for signage? We can't have, they have to be pointed at, not on it.
Quite honestly, it would be breaking the code.
So then, that doesn't seem, then you'd have to let everybody else do it, break the code too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I
I think it's a nice sign,
We
but
need
if
to
you're
have
gonna
a-
enforce one way, we can't be the one way.
And that sign disappeared, I don't know what happened to that in Windsor.
That was a highway problem, but the Salisbury Middle School.
DOT.
Illegally.
DOT put it,
Oh, yeah. It's a
6 years?
state road.
6 years.
Yeah, they made them bring
Things
it
work
out.
slowly.
They do,
They do work slowly.
and we know that because we're still waiting for signs.
I told you that,
on,
I did too.
You did?
Crossroads.
Yep. Absolutely. I think something like that, nothing like the old marquee where you're putting the letters on.
Which sign was, which sign were you talking about?
We saw him get like a LED sign, I'm gonna assume.
Yeah,
it is.
it's not nearly that bright or that fancy.
But just the way it lights
Yes.
would be against
It
our,
would be LED, yes.
I can't see us breaking the rules, we're trying to enforce.
I think our goal this year is to move
Yeah.
the police department to this building.
That's the-
It's, I agree, I thought because of informational purposes,
Yeah,
and I think like what the firehouse has, which you change the letters, is outdated and stupid. So today, nowadays, it's LED, yes, it's against code, it's Village Hall. I know they don't like to break the rules. I would have it as an exemption, but
I think it's tough.
We could always have the tape across the building.
The old ticket thing, yeah.
What would you want the sign for?
No, I think informational purpose.
Yes, for informational purpose.
He was talking.
Advertise
I'm not
meetings,
crazy
events.
about having
And it's one color, it's not like the 18 colors that Salisbury Mills has. That's $39,000.
Yeah,
It's one color.
yes.
Just a little flash, you know, board meeting tonight, 7 o'clock.
Read the paper,
Yes.
go online,
So,
yeah. Keep the
It's
village
red.
quaint, nice.
Black background,
Anyone
red
else?
letters.
Well, may-
So that was
yeah,
very
a couple
good.
of
You
comments.
had-
hold on,
Just to-
hold on.
Just to follow up, on that sign thing, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Rich, but, leading by example, or you're gonna end up changing the code one way, I mean, what are you end up doing? Because it'll light a fire and it's gonna, put you on the spotlight to say, what's good for you is good for me. Then they'll get, did you get a permit? No, I didn't get a permit, I know it's not legal. So I think it's just a can of worms all the way around. So, personal opinion. For the rink and the fencing and everything that we're gonna be planning, and what is the exact size of this thing we're thinking?
We're
Is it-
taking a straight line from first base to second base.
And then
all
to
the
the
way out
outfield?
there.
Tom, if you want.
And then connecting
Oh,
the,
okay. And what's the total cost of the whole shebang?
the fence was
140 by 210 roughly.
The fence was $3,600 for the fence.
So it's 36 just for the fence?
and the post, yeah,
And
and
the
the
post.
installation.
And how deep do those posts go in?
36
Keep 'em
inches.
safe? They're buried, basically,
Yes.
so they're below grade, and there's a cap on them? Because we're still planning on using the field for Little League.
No, they're not, the
The
posts are
kids,
gonna
right?
get pulled out. What are you talking about, 36?
Yeah, the posts.
Sleeves will be in.
Yeah, the sleeves will still be in the
Yeah.
ground, but the
Oh, you
posts,
get sleeves too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's additional.
It's in the,
No,
it's in the quote.
it's in the quote.
Yeah, it says plus.
only $3,600?
That was set in concrete.
Are they in concrete? It seems pretty cheap. Who's that, Ketchum or Premier?
Yeah, for the sleeves.
And so there's a cap that goes on it, so if someone,
So it's gonna be this.
Kind of-
plus
It's like the old, when they had the
Yeah.
old bases. Now you kick the base and it moves for safety reasons.
right,
This is the old,
so it'll be something level with the ground, not
it
so
would
much
be
of the
below the
pressure.
ground because it is going to be used for
Yeah,
other
okay.
things.
So what's the total then, 36 for the fence and for plastic and styrofoam?
Yeah, we're probably looking at about, I would say no more than $6,000, I think.
Okay. just had one additional question. I was here and on and off with the guy that was here for the solar farm. I just gotta check my notes as I was making, because I think I heard something the other day. Or actually, some constituents were asking about it, because I guess they're hearing that a solar farm's coming. So did we change the zone?
What you were talking, what you were, I saw the same thing. What they were talking about was that farm up on 208. Somebody was talking about putting a solar farm in there. That's in town.
Okay, I
That's
think.
the one that goes from,
These were, this is the one definitely on, because there was some folks along 208 that were asking, that heard about the solar farm that was going on Kazaz's farm.
they didn't specifically say Casaz's farm.
Both of those lands are for salaries.
Yeah.
The one up on 208 North, where
Yeah.
Tug Hill, yeah, that's in the town, that's
That's
not
it.
even a village.
Yeah,
I
so
think,
for the
I-
one that we did then in the village,
Yeah.
right, on Kazaz's farm, did we actually change the zoning?
No,
So we didn't change the zoning.
no.
So his solar farm is gonna be on the RA property that Kazaza owns? Because I remember you guys talking to him about an exemption and then taxing differently and all that stuff. So I wasn't sure, or the void, and maybe I missed the meeting, that it was either, and the question of the day was the property, that area rezoned.
Well,
For the solar farm itself.
Taxing in that 17 or 20 acres, whatever it is, that the solar panels are on, loses the agricultural exemption, and that 17 or 20 acres is taxed in payment in lieu of taxes. The rest of it is
How do you-
sold,
I get it, not being an attorney, but how do you do that without changing the zone of that, say, 20 acres? To make it, now it's non-RA, and you're gonna create basically a different zone with a solar farm on it.
solar
Because I-
array,
I'm sorry,
they don't want to be called solar farms,
what do they want to be called?
arrays,
Arrays? The sons of the,
so they don't confuse them with agriculture.
okay. I get, questions slash concerns that we've got that on an RA piece of property, and how that was able to get carved out and being taxed differently if it's not a different zone. Because if it was gonna be changed to a different zone, then there's like a slew of different things that need to happen in no particular order, but, you know, all the neighboring homes need to be sent certified mail, being notified of the zoning change. Orange County Planning needs to be involved. The zoning law needs to be amended, map changes, a bunch of different things.
Yeah, we didn't change the zone. It's still all right.
So, okay. And for the 3.9 million, what was the 9 million that we got from the South New York State? What's the breakdown of that roughly? I know
Breakdown
we got a
is,
bunch from,
State of New
Sewer.
York, 3.2 million for the wastewater.
okay,
Assemblyman Scoofus, $100,000 that we will be using for Secord and Emerson
Paving.
paving.
are you gonna do the infrastructure?
I was in conversation yesterday with Grant,
New York State Assembly.
that they will not fund, you can't use that money for infrastructure, for
No.
the transite pipe that's underground on either Emerson or Secord. I'm in conversation today with EFC, the people that are funding wastewater,
Right,
and according to them, we have billions in grants for.
yeah, there's a lot of money.
Okay, so.
Oh, and I'm just, suggesting before we
So
pave
you have-
it, that we take care of the transit pipe and all that other stuff that's in there, which is causing all sorts of headaches.
Yeah,
And then pave with on, okay,
that's,
Yeah.
thank you,
you know, we're just, okay.
appreciate that. Senator Walken, $250,000 for the inclusive playground. What does that come out
I'm sorry,
to?
which playground was that?
The inclusive playground by Memorial Park,
Okay,
the Lion's Den,
right.
give it a name. What did that come up to?
And you still have James Schoofis for
Vern Allen Park, James Schoofis,
That was,
$135,000.
Well, that's the money we were gonna use for the handicap on the bridge? Yeah, it's the 125.
No,
That was
well,
always for the.
Yeah,
it's always for the
It was
park.
always for the park.
no, that was the 125 that originally